Hi, I'm Dr. Cyril Kadam, practicing holistic neuropsychiatrist at Thane, Maharashtra. Today I'm going to talk about the very important aspect of why there are only certain people who achieve success. Either academically, in their professional lives, or even in their personal lives. Well, there are many criteria which actually impact this success. We can broadly classify these into two groups. One is the nature element, that is the constitution of that particular person. You may call it as the personality or the genetic makeup. The second is the environmental factors which affect the nurturing of that particular person right from childhood until the age that person is learning. So, if we look at the constitutional element, it affects definitely the type of behavior that the person would have, the tendency towards learning and acquiring wisdom. And the third is there are definitely certain predisposed professional options for certain types of personalities. Okay, so which I have already discussed in my other and earlier blogs, but then that is one of the important things that I will be discussing later on as you come to know why I'm talking to you today. The second element, which is a variety of inclusions, and the people who impact and actually make a difference, is the parents, the siblings, the peers, the friends, the teachers, and the society as a whole, which constitute towards the nurturing effect of that particular child, uh, right from early childhood. So there are 7 to 8 factors which actually are contributing towards the making of the successful adult, I would say. So the first one is the belief system which is incorporated during the earlier childhood days, which is a societal aspect, the parental aspect as well, which impacts the learning style, the behavior, and the various approaches and the attitudes towards the events of life. Second is the curiosity element. This definitely impacts the learning and the wisdom and the applied amount of knowledge, which can actually be a differential factor for various competitive exams. The third is the emotional intelligence, very critical. Develops right from the childhood times, when the primary teachers are the parents. So, how the parents actually interact, how do they react, how do they respond to situations, and what are the emotions, and how is the emotional regulation that is shown. Kids catch that first time. Obviously, interrelated to that is the parenting style, very critical. What type of approach do you have when you are nurturing your kids? Okay, what are the best things that you should avoid, that too depending on the age of that particular child. There are various mechanisms that you should understand, which happen particularly in relationship to the developmental psychology of a child, which impacts obviously the behavior, the belief systems, and the learning abilities of a child. Next is the teacher's impact, too critical. Okay, the early teachers, and at the same time the primary and the secondary teachers as well. How is the knowledge imparted, and what is the learning style, understanding of that particular teacher to a cohort or a group of students, and how is that tackled. Next is obviously the child's learning or the cognitive profile. That is again dependent on multiple factors, right from the constitution to the nurturing. But you definitely need to know what is the preferred learning style of a child. It would make things easier for him to learn and then memorize and then reproduce or recall during examinations, except especially the competitive exams. The next holistic part is the diet and the habits. While you think how diet, yes, diet does affect, right from the element of the influence of the gut to the brain to your physical and your mental immunity, the threshold that you develop for handling stress, all depends on your diet and your habits. Habits right from what is the wake time, the sleep time, the food time, the unwanted social habits, all that stuff. Finally, is the spirituality, which we all feel is sort of abstract. We don't need it, we don't have time. But one fine day, when we are into a host of problems in our adulthood, we turn towards spirituality, and that's the time that we've already lost with our kids, and the kids don't understand. Again, they go through the same cycle that they do not pay much heed to that. I'll be discussing all this and how you can actually utilize simple things at your home so that you nurture these elements, because constitution is not much into hands now, in an upcoming webinar on August the 18th at 5 p.m. Sharing the QR code for you to register for that. Hope to see you on August 18th at 5 p.m. Thank you. Have a nice time.